Welcome, I'm the Kaiju no Kami here at Colorado Anime Fest 2019. I'm with
Krelka Kane.
And we are interviewing
Kirk Thornton. I can't believe you just got all those words out without stumbling. That was amazing.
Lots and lots of practice.
Wow.
Lots of stumbling.
So impressed.
Back when I first started doing recording, it was like, I'm the well, I can't do it yet.
Cut, start over.
And then finally, and now I just sit down and like, okay, one, boom, do it.
Nice.
For people who might not know what you have done in the past.
And shame on you if you don't.
What have I done? I raised 2 kids. Oh, you mean professionally?
That's a good feat in and of itself, though.
Oh my
you got
gosh.
them to adulthood.
Yeah, but we're not so good on the parenting. Let's not go into that.
Let's go to the fun stuff.
I don't know. I've been doing this for been voice acting for over 30 years.
And you're only 25.
And isn't that amazing? How does that happen? I look in the mirror and went, okay, yeah, I can see that. Started out back with Saban doing, what was the very first show I did? It was a thing called Wowzer.
Oh.
But it was anime. And my more well-known roles are Klein in Sword Art Online, Gene in Samurai Champloo, Brandon Heat in Gungrave. What are some of the others? Games, Jade in Tales of the Abyss. In Code Geass, Naruto, I play Kisame, and many others. Shadow in in Sonic, and if you haven't seen Sonic Boom, if you've just played the games, check out Sonic Boom, the series. It is incredible, great. Well, it's all the cast from the Sonic games, and the writing was just spectacular, and they really did a nice job.
Well, Sonic is such a cultural icon.
Yeah.
Because you have all the video games, which admittedly I played in high school probably way too much. And then you have you have the American television series, you have the anime.
Yeah.
So it's awesome that you're able to be a part of such an iconic show.
Oh, yeah.
Is it one of your favorite characters that you've gotten the voice because it's been so extensive, or do you have other favorites that stick out maybe?
That's funny. Yes, it's a relatively short period of time for Shadow, but a lot of my favorites have been the real short ones, like Gene in Samurai Champloo.
Oh, yeah.
What was it? How many episodes?
26.
Was it that many? Okay,
yeah.
But it was so short. It came and went, boom, like that, and it was just such a wonderful show. And Shadow and other things that come and go. It doesn't necessarily have to be a long-running show like Naruto to make it one of your favorites. If quantity or quality over quantity. If something is really good, that makes it so much more enjoyable.
And I think that's so exciting because you've been doing it for so long, so you've been able to develop your craft, and you've voiced so many characters, and you have such diversity with them as well. I'm a huge fan of Sword Art Online, so Klein is one of the characters that has always stuck out to me, so with so many others. But it's nice when you hear that diversity, because I remember Saito from Rurouni Kenshin, and hearing that voice to Klein, to so many others, it's not like you actually can pick out. You have such diversity with your voice and range. So it's fascinating that you've done it. And is it a challenge for you having to do such range, or does it come naturally?
It comes naturally. I started off as a stage actor, and went to New York, did the whole classical actor training route, and I went to New York and worked for years, and then came out to LA to do film and TV. So I was always a character actor. Even back in college, I got very few leads. I was always, playing lots of different characters. So that stuff comes. It is challenging, but it comes more naturally to me. Playing myself is what's really hard for me. I was talking about a panel recently, and Crispin Freeman talks about when you're learning to voice act, learn to play yourself first, and then, to establish that honesty and the organic closeness to you, because all the emotions will work better if they're close to you, and then branch out. I kind of work the other way. I start out as kind of a technical actor, and I like creating characters.
That sounds like so much fun, though.
It is fun, but sometimes it's confusing as to whether I do it for fun or whether I do it out of insecurity for who I am. You know, like, am I being insecure because I don't think I'm good enough just by myself to carry a role, or is it just that it's something I enjoy playing goofy characters?
But that's good insight, though, into the cultural narrative of a human being. Because I think people do that even outside of acting, where they may feel insecure, so they embellish or they do things that are out of the ordinary to make them feel stronger. So it's fascinating to hear that on an actor perspective, because I never actually thought of that. I just thought of it as more of an embodiment of another individual, so to speak, more so than potentially an insecurity in oneself. So that's something to think about for others.
Yeah, I mean, we don't seem, actors you think of as, they're very gregarious, they're very outgoing, they're the class clowns, but that, yes, it's a natural thing, it's something that comes to us, but it's got something underneath it. I'm sure psychologists would have something to say about it as well.
I will stay away from that realm, though, because that's way beyond me.
Speaking of being a class clown, I have a lot of students that in 3rd grade, 4th grade, that they're like, oh, I want to be an actor or a voice actor when I grow up. What words of advice could you give to those people, and also if they're afraid to try it because they're afraid of failure?
I see. I've been reading a lot of self-help books lately.
It's never a bad thing.
And no, it really isn't. Education is good no matter how it comes to you. You should always try to be learning and gaining new things. Whether it's out of book, whether it's life, whatever. You should always be striving to educate and further yourself. And as far as what they should do, if they really want it, they have to decide if they really want it, or if it's just, when I was a kid, I wanted to be a fireman, I wanted to be a garbage man, I wanted to be president, I wanted to do this. But I kind of knew deep in my heart that acting, I've known it since I was a kid, that this was my passion, this is what I was going to be, and you cannot let anybody stop you. You can't let your parents say, yeah, but get a part-time job as this, give yourself a backup. When I was in high school, everybody was taking typing then. Everybody learned typing because it was something you should know. I intentionally didn't take typing because I thought that could be a job I could take while I'm acting, and I said I don't want any part of that. So I didn't want to give myself a backup. I knew I was going to be an actor, so remove any things. I mean, I've washed cement trucks and delivered balloons and waited tables and bartended. I've done a gazillion things to support my career, but they've all been things that, they take minimal thought, all the thought goes into the career, and all the determination. And again, I can't stress enough, don't take no for an answer. In high school, I was the top dog acting. I thought I was, hot stuff. I went to college. Right off the bat, I started getting leads. I went up and I auditioned for an acting school up in Canada, at the Banff Center School of Fine Arts. And I thought, oh, I'll audition for the advanced class because I'm pretty advanced. They said, no, you'll be auditioning for the beginning class. I went, yeah, but I'm so good. I made it into there was a beginning, intermediate, and advanced. I made it into the intermediate, and I was at the bottom of the class. And after I graduated, my teacher wrote me a letter, sent it to my parents. I didn't get it. So I'll jump forward, I'll skip a little bit. After I went to the Banff Center School of Fine Arts, I auditioned for the University of Washington. It was an acting program that you had to audition for. They auditioned like 500 actors and they took 15.
Oh,
and
wow.
they would take those 15 actors in a very intensified acting program and they'd work for 3 years. You'd be the same 15 students for 3 years. The ones that could stay in the class. If you didn't meet their standards, they'd cut you. I think maybe 10 made it out of my class. Anyway, so I went from Banff, I auditioned for UW, I got in. Meantime, they sent a letter to me saying, get out of acting, you're a hack.
Oh no!
You really don't have what it takes.
Oh, that's terrible.
And well, you know, in truth, I wasn't very good. And, you know, sometimes I still think, you know, what am I doing? I'm a hack at this. You know, there's so much talent out there. But I still think it's what I love, there's a place for me. So no matter how much rejection you face, and you will face tons of rejection. Just everyone's going to tell you you're not good enough. Went to New York, interviewed, I did some auditions. An agent asked to interview me, which I'm like, yes, a New York agent wants me. I get in, and I don't know why they interviewed me, because they got there and they said, well, we represent soap opera actors, and so we represent really handsome people, and if you can act, it's a plus. So there's not much we can do for you.
Wow. Okay, that's.
Why did you call me in? You kept called me in to tell me I'm ugly, and you say, yeah, you're a really good actor, but.
Oh, thinking on what you said, are you familiar with like Doctor Who and Tom Baker?
Just a little, yeah.
When he was a kid, he was going to acting. They actually said you will never amount to anything, and then he did Doctor Who for 7 years.
Yeah. Well, and I've always been the kind. My acting teacher, who I respected more than anyone in the world, he was a brilliant man. I was doing a Shakespeare monologue once in class, and he pounded on the desk and he said, "Thornton, I hate you worse than anyone else in the world!" And I went, what did I do? He said, "You said Ben instead of bin. You've been there. You haven't been there, not in Shakespeare, you've been..." And so I went, oh, okay. And then I heard him talking to a classmate who he never criticized, and who was horrible all the time, did terrible stuff. And he was saying, well, you know, I would never, I was in the dressing room changing, and he was outside talking to his actors. He said, well, you know, I would never kick you, I'd never kick someone when they're down. And I said, what? You told me you hated me worse than anyone else in the world. He says, Thornton, you're never down. I went, oh, yeah. So when people would punch me and criticize me, it would just work for me as motivation for me to come back and say, no, you're wrong, I'm good. So.
But that element of perseverance is important for anything that you do in life.
Yeah.
You always want to be able to excel and try new things, and sometimes you have to kind of take those licks, take those critiques, and make yourself stronger from them. Because if you don't, you, as you clearly have proven, that's the only way you can really progress as an individual. So I think it's fascinating. I really respect that, because I think it's important to hear at the same time.
Yeah. But in answer to your question, believe in yourself and don't take no for an answer. Just keep fighting.
Finally, do you have any social media links people can find you at?
I'm the worst social media person in the world. I am so bad. I've even thought of hiring someone because I just am terrible at it. Part of the problem is I don't like, which you'd never know from this interview, I don't like to boast. And so I look at my friends posting on social media and it's like, hey, I'm working on such and such a game. Look at me, I'm playing so and so. And I'm like, I don't like to boast. And it seems like I got to find a way to be on social media and say, and do it without seeming boastful or prideful or whatever. And just day-to-day activities, it's like, well, who wants to hear about my day-to-day activities? So, but yes, I mean, I'm on Twitter at I think I'm Kirk Thornton VO on Twitter, and I've got a fan page on Facebook, Kirk Thornton, and I need to do an Instagram, and I just poke me and say, Kirk, you've got to do this because it's important, and I should be doing it, but I'm really bad.
Oh, I can understand. I actually, myself, I just started using, like, finally figuring out how to fully utilize Twitter. Because partially as a teacher, it doesn't work for me because it's like, you can't be fully grammatically correct due to the limited amount of characters.
Yeah.
So it drives me crazy, like, I have to abbreviate this word, cut this word, and it's like, ah!
Yeah, no, it's crazy. And I respect you so much for being a teacher. My wife's a teacher. Well, she's an actress, but she got into teaching.
She plays a teacher on TV.
Yeah, and my mom was a teacher, and so I have huge respect for teachers. I taught for a while
Nice.
to stay alive as an actor until I could, get going.
Well, I think we have to cut it due to time, so
I'm so
I.
sorry.
No, please don't
Oh,
apologize.
it's
This
been
has
amazing.
been so much fun.
Yeah, but I just rattled on,
Hey, I thought it was valuable, so you didn't rattle.
Oh, good.
Oh, it's an amazing amount of knowledge you have. Like, I interviewed once Joe Giella
Thank you very
from
much.
Denver Comic Con. He
Mhm.
worked on the original Silver Age Flash comics from the 50s.
Cool.
And I only had time for a short interview, and he just had so much knowledge. I wish I could have gone like an hour with him.
That's so neat.
Thank you so much for your
Thank
time.
you. Thank you for having me.
very much. Thank you very
It's a
much
real
for
honor.
doing this. It's been an honor for us too, so thank you.
And until next time,
Bye.
Bye.